Hey everybody, welcome to SOS Small Business Success Podcast. I am your host, Bonnie Bonadeo, and we are all about building your brand to survive and teaching you to be able to thrive. And today is no different from that, to be able to help you get well on your way. Nothing's easy anymore, right? You'll all agree with me on this. Nothing we do is easy anymore. Making sales, providing that experience for clients, dealing with no-shows, cancellations, late clients, hiring, firing, getting products, having the right inventory, having people be motivated to want to work. Nothing is easy in business today. And it's not just in our industry. I mean, you guys can see that it's across the board, between restaurants, grocery stores, any and all of these services that are happening with us. And we have to find ways in order to still be able to prosper and not have these expectations of things that have to remain the same or doing things the same way, and nowadays not getting the same results. Okay. And so how do we do things a little bit differently here? So as you know, we talk about the SOMME strategy here for success. And I say it's a 5 anchor system that if you understand that there's times, sometimes you need to stop and really plan out, one of these anchors. You can't always be in motion to plan properly or create the strategy that you need. So I call these things the 5 anchors, and that's sales, operations, mindset, marketing, and education. And then each week we talk about one of these particular categories and we break it down into a smaller subcategory. So for example, sales might be looking at what you want to accomplish, your goals for this year. And if your goal for this year is to be able to be $1 million salon, but you're at 700,000 right now, that's $300,000 that you have to figure out how to be able to increase sales in. And then you have to think, how are you going to do that? And, that ties into operations. What systems do you need to have in play in order to increase your business by $300,000? Is it price increase? Is it hiring more people? Is it better leadership? Is it better systems? All of those things fall under operations. And then, of course, we get into mindset, and mindset is probably 50%. I looked at my history of my coaching clients over the last few years and evaluated like how much time we spent talking about strategy and implementing action and ideas. And 50% of the time was spent on mindset in order for them to comfortably feel that they could put the strategy in place and then implement the strategy and then see the results of what they're working on. I help my clients take their big rocks, the things that require maybe time and consistency to kind of grow. Okay. It's not just solving the same problems that we deal with every day. A stylist not showing up, a client not showing up. Like those are issues that we dive into and we try to solve. But the truth is I really look at what are the bigger things you want to accomplish this year, and what do we need to do in order to keep those in action for you. And then, of course, that leads us to the last 2, which is marketing and education. And if you do not have the right mindset to be able to be consistent and be in action with marketing and education, then it's going to be a much harder process to be able to do. Now, all of those things tie into getting that increase of sales that you're trying to achieve. So sales, operation, mindset, marketing, education equals sales. And that equals success. So today's topic is going to be on marketing, and the title is Consistent Current, creating a consistent current. And, we all can look at what that means, like consistency and current, or currency even, has so many different meanings to it. So we're going to look at a few meanings here that I've looked at, because I see the power in words. And it's really important that sometimes when we're talking about words that we understand what they really mean in order to put them into action. So a current, because I do the SOS theme here, and I like to talk about boats and boating and being on the water as part of the analogy to things. First of all, current, what does it mean? It's a body of water or air moving in a definite direction, especially through a surrounding body of water or air in which there's less movement. So if you are stuck in a current, you're not moving in the direction that you might go, or it might be forcing you in a direction you don't want to go. So I want you to think about the things that are currents in your business right now. What are some current trends? What are some active currents that are happening that's causing you frustration or having you be stuck or unclear of how to get out of that pattern? Another example of that is a current is a flow of electrical charge, carries like electrons. Current flows from negative to positive. So you could also look at current from that electrical standpoint and say, I'm in a negative current right now, and I need to get into a positive current. Okay. Yeah. So think about how current is impacting you. So current events, how the economy is impacting you, current circumstances, staff, clients, product, absorbent product fees, not able to find product, unmotivated staff that are, not comfortable upgrading or retailing, price increases. What's the current climate and current of what's, going on in regards to that? These are all things that you need to think about and then do a plan of action on. And keep the plan really, really simple, really simple. Okay, so let's define consistent. Acting or done in the same way over time, especially as to be fair or accurate. Consistent is of a regularly occurring, dependable nature. So now I want you to think about that from the way that you are managing your business, from marketing, education, leadership, supply and demand, policy, all of those areas. Are you being consistent? Okay. Are you doing things the same way? Is there maybe some niches or some adjustments that need to be made in order to create a different outcome based on trying something differently? Is it accurate? Is it still working in what you're doing? And of course, we know from a marketing standpoint, consistency is the mother of mastery. The more consistent you are, the more mastery that you get, the more results and impact that you get from it on the other end as well. And that's really hard for people. It's hard for me to be able to do that. I work with a coach to help me be consistent because I'm so busy coaching other people that sometimes I don't have the bandwidth to be able to be creative on my own at times. So I put my ideas together. I work with my coach to be able to see how we're going to launch them, how we're going to put them out, how we're going to, put Facebook ads around them, things like that. I enjoy the process of being able to work with somebody that's like-minded like me, to be able to help me keep my business in flow. And certainly that's what I offer my clients, to be able to help them keep their business consistent and in flow of the right current here. Now, this is a big word that is used a lot in regards to social media and marketing in general, because most marketing today is digital marketing, which means that it has an algorithm. And this algorithm that we are, referencing here is kind of defined as a process or a set of rules to be followed in calculations or other problem-solving operations, especially by a computer. So algorithms are attached to digital operations here. Now, this is where you might be familiar with algorithms so that you can kind of figure out what this means here. You can find several of them in our daily lives, right? Social media networks. So, Instagram is based on a severity of algorithms, right? So you'll get more visual visibility if you have a consistent rate that keeps the algorithms intact. Okay. Social media from a standpoint of, let's say that you Google a particular product, or you're on Amazon for a particular product, and then what happens on your Facebook thread or on your Facebook Facebook area, you actually have some of those products that you just researched, and then you kind of get bombarded by it. And then it gives you all the choices. So if you click on this pretty dress, next thing you know, you've got 3 or 4 different clothing stores that have similar pretty flowing dresses. Okay. You know this, we're all aware of this. Yes, they're listening to us. Yes, they're watching it, but it's all based on algorithms. GPS is based on an algorithm. So they see if you continue to use your GPS and you have a certain pattern or way of going, they trust that. So if you don't take freeways a lot and you do more surface streets, they're going to give you their surface streets as the number one option. They might give you the freeway as being a faster option, but they'll go with this with more of the street as your first option, because they start to trust what you're doing, and then they make suggestions. Google searches, of course, e-commerce platforms, of course, and then Netflix recommendations. We all know this. There's that one thing that after we've watched a series of shows and we're kind of in the search menu and we're looking for something else to start watching, it says, because you liked this show, this one might be a good choice for you. And it kind of gives you like 4 out of 5 stars that you're going to like this, or 90% match that you're going to like this. Okay. All of these dating apps are based on some kind of algorithms and stuff like that. When they see that you like certain things, then it puts it to work to be able to help you find other people that like those certain things. So how does this impact you then if from your marketing and education? So we talked about current, we talked about being consistent, and we talked about algorithms. Now, obviously algorithms from a digital standpoint, but let's talk about it just from a word and a philosophy here. If you are not doing consistent education to train, update, and continually to educate your staff might believe that you don't care about education. That's kind of like a non-digital algorithm that's happening. They create a thought process that says, I need more education and my salon doesn't care about education. Okay. If you're marketing and I always say there's 2 types of marketing here. There's internal marketing and there's external marketing, and they're both as important, and you have to be consistent to both internal and external marketing. Now, internal marketing has a couple different areas to it. So one would be how you're creating opportunities for clients to buy. So when they walk in, it's your product promotions. When they walk in, are there some type of communications to help them upgrade their services? So maybe you've got, serums on sale, or a gift pack, or a package of something on sale. Maybe your front desk says, oh, by the way, I wanted to let you know that we have leaders on sale for 35% off. Okay. These would all be considered internal marketing, how you're communicating to your staff, letting them know what monthly promotions are, letting them know what service promotions are. Then there's external marketing, which is communicating to the clients and or your community. Okay, so directly with your clients via email, via direct marketing. So whether that's text or email, or kind of more of a broad scope of social media marketing, and then also kind of, communicating in your community that way type of thing. So that would be external marketing. All right. All of those things need to be done on a regular and consistent basis. And I find that salons really struggle with the marketing area of their business. Okay. They're so busy just being in business. They're so busy running the day-to-day operations that for them to take the next step of marketing and education is a challenge for them. And remember, I talk about this from the timer method too. You have to be able to invest the time, possibly money, possibly energy, possibly other resources, in order to make these strategic actions come to life. With that, you got to be, understand what the current climate is, or the current is. Okay. If it's a moving piece, what's the current? Okay. Could be kind of like also tied to culture. What's the current culture like in your salon? Are people burnt out right now? Are they frustrated? Are they being overworked because there's a high client demand and a low supply of talent to be able to hire in and take up some of the slack? Maybe they're working harder. Maybe they're, maybe you're in a situation where you're not that busy and the climate is more, and the culture is more of things are slow. I'm never going to survive. I can't make enough money doing this. And then people decide to leave because they don't think that it's all there. Well, if you're a salon owner in that situation and you're losing people because you're slow, then you really, really, really need to get onto a marketing and education scope here with this. So here's a suggestion for you guys to be able to put into action. And this is what I call it the ACT method, but I didn't necessarily brand it this way on here because I want you to just hear it from a different perspective and then trust that there's going to be a program coming out that's going to be the ACT method for marketing success here. And you'll get more juice on it than what I can offer in my podcast here. So the first thing you got to do, if you're looking to be consistent and you're looking to tie it into marketing, internal and external, is to be able to define your brand. What makes you who you are? What values do you offer? What's non-negotiable? And I'm not just talking about your mission statement or that type of thing that you would put together. I'm talking about you as the owner, you as the stylist, something like that. What are the values that drive you that are non-negotiables for you to make sure that you're running a business that you are passionate and proud of? Okay. What do you stand for? All right. And what are your expectations? If you were going to be hiring somebody in, what do you stand for in that expectations that this is non-negotiable? Okay. Not, oh, you have to work Saturdays or you have to work one evening a week. I'm not talking about tactics or KPI approaches. I'm talking about humanity approaches. Like what am I willing to tolerate? What am I not going to tolerate? What do I want to experience? What do I not want to experience? Okay. Then you have to look at it from a standpoint of what do you do? Okay. What are you really doing? What's your ultimate brand identity of what you do? Okay. You might be like, well, we provide beauty services type of thing. And that's fine, but that's very transactional. What else do you want to say about your business in order to separate it or make it feel more unique or different than the salon down the street? What makes you different in it? What makes your staff different in it? Okay. Who do you do it for? Who do you do it for? So what's this ideal customer that you're attracting? What's the ultimate goal that you're trying to achieve with the type of clients you want to be servicing in there? And it can be several different type of clients, but you got to be really clear of who that ideal client is first. Okay. Why do you do it? Okay. Why do you do it? It's a good question to ask yourself sometimes, because sometimes you're just like, well, I've always done it. It's always what I do. It's, I've been doing it for 30 years. But why are you continuing to do it? Because business is hard right now, like I said on the onset here. And if you don't keep going back to your why and finding that passion piece, it's going to be hard to stay in it. And as the ground gets shakier and the current gets rougher and storms start brewing, then it's going to be harder for you to continue to stay committed to what you're about. Okay. How do you do it? Okay. The how do you do it doesn't have to be like a teaching moment from how you do it, but how are you different? How do you do certain things that make it different? Okay. And where do you do it? Okay. This would be kind of like your location, your area, your community, your city, your state. Okay. Like broaden it out a little bit. Okay. So that's kind of ways to be able to define your brand. And then you want to be able to promote your brand. So the most important thing, if you're just promoting and you're creating an awareness campaign on a brand identity, is who are you attracting and why? So your brand identity should be who are you attracting and why? Now, this brand identity piece can be about you. It can be about your team. It could be about a specialty or a niche that you offer, a broad niche, or it can be about the type of client that you want to attract. Okay, either one of those is creating an attraction point or a connection point. And why? Why? Answer the question why they would want to come see you versus going to someone else. And then the third step to this would be to be able to promote a product or a service within your brand. First, you attract the who, then you go with the why, and then you fill in the how and the where. Okay. And you can obviously the what should be obvious. Your what should be obvious if it's promoting a product or service. Okay, what it is should be fairly obvious, but sometimes we have to define that as well. All right, so define your brand, promote a product or service from your brand. Those would be the steps that I would take. So in defining your brand, let me know, you guys, I do a brand audit for salons. It's a 2-session program with me live. And what we do is we look at your brand identity. We help you develop your brand story. We help you develop your brand messaging. And once we kind of get that intact, then we can go to the next step and show you how to be able to market it out, this identity out into your marketplace, so that you can start to create attraction. This is that digital algorithm that I'm talking about. This is that, oh, now I know who they are. Oh, now I know where they are. Oh, now I know what they offer. Okay, you're creating that stickiness and that attraction to be able to have people recognize you and then want to come to you, want to be able to refer you, want to be able to, experience what you have to offer. Okay. And then of course, the third piece is promote the product or service within a brand. This is where you're niching it down to a particular product or service. And and this part of the campaign is a combination of multiple things. So it could be a 6-week campaign that you're doing something twice a week, and you're promoting a product and a service, a product and a service, a product and a service. You're then throwing in an awareness piece, going back to just promoting the broader brand, then a product and a service. And it's all tied together. So it feels like it is connected and well-rounded and service-driven. And I can teach you how to be able to do this. And it's easy, you guys. It's once you see the pattern of how this works and how it moves around, then it's just a matter of you deciding what it is that you're going to be promoting. What are these pieces and parts that I want to be able to bring to life, and share with my clients, share on my social media, share on, my share via email, share internally within my business, so that people can see what we stand for and what our brand represents in there. It is easy. Okay. Now, part of all of this is part of being able to look at the strategy that you have set up. So we talk about it from the sales, operations, mindset, marketing, and education. And you guys can download this free strategy workbook here to be able to help get you started on it. And as a complimentary opportunity, you have the opportunity to be able to set up a free coaching session with me, a 1-hour coaching session. And we will take one thing in the sales category, and I'll show you how it ties into operations, talk about it from a mindset perspective, how to be able to market it in order to create and educate on it, to be able to create that full circle of success in regards to growing your business. We have to be more strategic this year, but we got to get in the mindset that we don't need to be doing 100 different things. We can be doing 3, 4, maybe even 5 simple things in order to grow our business and take us to the next level. So if you want to be able to get this, download this free strategy workbook, you can go to my IG bio and click on the link tree there, click on the bio in my Instagram account, and you'll see it's one of the top features in there is the 2022 SOS strategy workbook. There's also an opportunity on that in my bio to be able to set up a free SOS strategy coaching session with me. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to help you out. I'd love to see what we can do to help you to go from surviving to thriving in here. And then be prepared. I'm coming out with the program, Thrive Over Survive. It's going to be a 6-week marketing sprint. And I'm going to take that piece and I'm going to bring it to life for you. And we're all going to be in it over the course of the 6 weeks. Build it and push it out. I have had a lot of success with helping people to be able to do this, because I think that we make social media and marketing more complicated than it needs to be. It doesn't have to be fancy filters. It doesn't have to be understanding video editing. There are easy ways to be able to still make this work. We grow and we advance when we're comfortable with some of the basics, just like haircutting, just like coloring. Once we understand some basics, we can get more advanced and take on more interesting marketing and digital marketing as we progress. But we got to start simple, and we have to start doing it in order to create the current that we want and the current that we want to be in. Okay. Not one that keeps tossing us around, to be consistent. And of course, to be able to increase those algorithms so we start getting noticed. This is how you find new staff that wants to work for you. This is how you find new clients that want to experience your business. All right. So be on the lookout for that. And again, remember, you guys, this, I have a group, SOS Small Business Success Coaching and Podcast group, and you can find it. My name's on the very end of it, Bonnie Bonadeo. Join the group, hear more, get access to some of the free stuff that I'm doing. And let's grow together. Let's have 2022 be a great year, and let's grow together. All right. Until next week, I shall see you soon.